Today we're going to try to revive some baby plants. Let's go. Hey friends, it's Kendall, your joyful farmer, and I have some plants to show you today that I started from seed, and they are actually stunted. So today we're going to go on a little bit of a rescue mission and try to help these guys. These are cool hardy annual flowers that I started in 3/4 inch soil blocks. My mom was kind enough to babysit them under her grow lights for me for several weeks. She watered them every day and we fertilized them once per week. But there was one instance where I barely overdid the fertilizer and it actually ended up burning most of the plants. And because the 3/4 inch blocks are so small, there really is a wide margin for error, and just one little mistake can put your baby plants in danger. So after they started showing some signs of fertilizer burn, we skipped the fertilizer for a week or two and slowly started to fertilize again. Making sure not to overdo the amount. They've been slow growing ever since. And some of them look super brown and crunchy, and there's no way that they're gonna even recover. So in order to rehabilitate these guys, when the highs started to cool off below 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius, we moved them outside onto the porch to give them a little bit of sunlight, some extra airflow, and they're already looking a lot better, though some of them, again, do look like they're not gonna make it. But today, to try and save these little guys, I'm gonna pot them up into 2-inch soil blocks, and they're still too small to plant directly out into the garden. It's still too warm out here in September. Our weather's kind of unpredictable, and these are cool, temperature-loving flowers. So I am not gonna transplant them out in the big garden just yet. I will wait until temperatures are closer to 80 degrees Fahrenheit as a high, or lower than 27 degrees Celsius. These particular transplants would be really happy if the porch out here were nice and cool, like 65, 70 degrees, but unfortunately I can't choose the weather around here. So this is what we've got. So just to show you what this fertilizer burn looks like up close, you can tell that a lot of the foliage is brown and crunchy. There are some of the larger seedlings that seem to have survived the fertilizer burn. They've got some green leaves that are growing some new growth. Those are the ones that I'm gonna try to rescue out of this tray. But just for comparison, these are about 5 weeks old, which is super tiny and not right for seedlings that should be probably about 3 inches tall right now, and the size in which I could plant them out in the garden. But these guys, the same straw flower, I started a couple of weeks after I noticed this fertilizer burn. So these are probably 2.5 weeks old, and the size difference here is pretty remarkable. So let me get these potted up and we will check on them in about a week or so to see if they look any better. These are so big I can lift a whole section of blocks out and just kind of tease apart one at a time. Okay, here they are all potted up. We'll check on them in a week. See how they're doing. Okay, it's been about 10 days now. Let's check in on these little babies and see how much better they're looking. So I up-potted these into just some Pro Mix soil blocks. It was just the all-purpose mix of Pro Mix, and they're really appreciating the steady nutrition and the sunshine and the breeze out here, just some fresh air. You can see these stalk look a whole lot better than they did the last time you saw them, and I really think they're gonna do just fine. Others, like the little carnations back here, some of them are starting to perk back up and they look like they might do okay. The scabiosa is looking a whole lot better. I lost my echinacea. I had originally thought, well, they've got some little green leaves in the center, some new green leafy growth, so maybe they'll pull through, but they really haven't. Snapdragons still look quite a bit stunted. This is some Dianthus japonica that looks a whole lot better. I think it'll do okay as well. Just be a little slower growing. Some straw flowers, those really perked back up. And more scabiosa, some status that I still have not up potted. And then the stock down here was potted up into the 2-inch blocks about 5 days ago or so. So you can really tell the difference between these guys and the ones down here on the end that we potted up 10 days ago. Really big difference there. So overall, I think that worked pretty well, up potting them into the 2-inch blocks with the Pro Mix. Gave them some fresh nutrients and some larger space to grow their roots. Gave them some nice air and sunshine out here on the covered porch. And hopefully we'll see some really great growth out of them and still be able to get some usable cut flowers out of them in this spring. So I wish you joy on your journey, and I'll see you next time.